What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Motorsport Vlog, and today we've got this thing, finally. I know you guys been waiting to see some 250R content and something a little cooler than ATC110s and TRX 90s, so we've got this thing and we are about to start some Trikefest preparation on it. We've got to pull the engine out of this thing, and you guys might ask why. It runs really good. It's been rebuilt. It's got probably 10 hours on the motor. However, it just looks not the hottest. It was not painted or anything done to it. Whenever it was pulled, it was just split. Had a new crank, rod, bearings, all that good stuff put in it, and sealed back up and put back together. So I've ordered a engine kit or engine bolt kit for it. I've got the paint that matches the Honda gray, the metallic gray. So we're gonna pull the motor out of this thing and we're gonna spray it, and then we're gonna swap hardware, one by one. So that way we're not splitting it back apart, because honestly there's no use into doing all that work just to repaint the cases and cylinder and all that. So we're gonna try to do is, it's gonna look good. It's gonna look good, guys. Don't worry about it. We'll make it look good, I promise. So, all right, guys. Well, I guess we're gonna start by draining all the fluids out of this thing and get going on it. We're closing in on one open month left. One complete month that Trikefest is not in to finish some of these projects up around here. So once we get down to the last month, June, I'd like for it just to be open for getting, all the camping gear ready, the enclosed trailer, whatever vehicles we're taking up there and stuff like that. I don't want to have to be trying to put, motors back in machines or anything like that. So we're not going to do that. We're going to try to get that done. And then after that, we got a little maintenance on the 250SX if we take that. I think we're probably going to. I'd like to do that slow wheelie contest with it. But I've also been thinking, I've never done the hardtail ride, and I've seen a bunch of guys post that they're going to do it this year, and I've got a hardtail machine to take for that, so it doesn't run. So I don't know. We'd have to do a wheeler run and all that stuff on it, but hey, might make for some interesting content. So. But, all right, guys, let's get into this 250R. What's going on, guys? We're back out here again tonight, working on this 250R. I got a pretty good ways last night. I just got to a good stopping point. About the only thing I've got to do now is take these motor mounts off of this thing and pull the motor out. But you can see we got the Yukon in here. We had to get all the vehicles out from the weather. We're supposed to have some really bad weather tonight with some tornadoes and hail and stuff like that. So I took the side by side and my truck down to my dad's house and parked it in his shop. So, and then made some room in here to get the Yukon in here. Shockingly enough, we've made room to get it in here. So, but yeah, guys, we're gonna presume on and get this motor pulled out of this thing and get that done. So then that way we can. I was hoping to have it power washed up tonight, so then that way we could start by tomorrow and prep to paint it. But you know, it's all right. Got a lot going on with the weather and all this. So, but let's get this motor pulled out of this thing. All right, guys, mission accomplished. We got some cleanup to do on the floor here, but got the motor pulled out of this deal. Now it's time to make it look pretty. As you guys can see, it's very crusty looking. So believe it or not, though, it only has, I don't even know, probably maybe 10 hours on it. It's not much. So you can see the gaskets are, well, they were fresh until they got dirty, but yeah, it's got really low hours on it, guys, and I don't see the need in splitting the cases and having everything powder coated. Whenever it needs a freshen up, then my plan is to pull it back out, and then that's when we'll, you know, powder coat it and all that stuff. But for now, this is what's gonna work. I think it's gonna be fine. So yeah, we're gonna start doing some prep here to get this thing ready to paint. I'm gonna do taking some things off of this thing, and then tomorrow night we'll probably take it out there and power wash it and see if there's any spots that we need to kind of address with the chip paint and stuff. But I mean, honestly though, it seems pretty level, so I think the paint will fill in pretty nice. So, well, guys, that's gonna be the plan. All right, guys, we're back out here again. I got this motor taped up and sealed up and got plugs and everything and ready to do some power washing and cleaning on it. So let's get out here. All right, guys, we got this little girl cleaned up. It wasn't too dirty. I mean, it hasn't been rode much since I had the frame powder coated and all that, but I wanted to get out of any of that two-stroke, you know, how them exhausts always leak. So I wanted to get everything off of that like I could. So did that, got the motor cleaned up. Tomorrow we'll start and do a little bit of making sure that all this is as level as it can be to paint it. So prepping it for paint is what we'll be doing tomorrow. So, but we're making some pretty good progress on this thing. So hopefully we should have it back together by this weekend or this weekend, something like that is what I would like to do. So, all right, guys, catch back up with you. We're back out here in the shop tonight working on this motor for the 250R. I've been out here prepping on it and I've been sanding it and all that. I figured everybody didn't want to see all that part of it, so I went ahead and did that, and I've got us ready for paint. I made us this little paint booth right here. I just kind of taped it up in here and all that, and got us hung from the rafter right there. This is just to spray it in here. I don't want to get overspray on everything, so I've got it all taped off, prepped up, ready to paint. I'm gonna wipe it down a little bit more, and then we're gonna start shooting this thing and see how it comes out. So I'll hook you guys up for that and let you guys watch the process of it. So this is what the motor's looking like. It turned out really good. So now we're gonna get to swapping some hardware out on this thing, and it should look pretty good, I think, when everything's said and done with it. Everything turned out pretty good. I didn't have no weird places in the paint. I did a lot of prep work though. So, but yeah, let's start swapping some hardware out. I bought this spec bolt hardware kit. It's pretty nice. It comes all labeled out, so it should be pretty self-explanatory. There's a top-end kit and bolt kit right there. So very nice. I like how that's done. These people are really cool. They actually called me up and asked specifically what year my 250R was, so they could get they said that they were building my hardware kit and they were about to ship it out. So I thought it was kind of neat. You know, it's kind of a little more of a personalized business than you think. You figured that they just have a bunch of kits that they just ship out, and you know, it's kind of a big company and stuff like that. But it seems like they still run pretty locally, or small, you know, small town, however you want to say it. But yeah, so let's get putting this thing back together, put the bolts and stuff in, and I can't wait to get this shop cleaned up. It's a disaster after doing all this stuff, so. But it's just how it is sometimes when you're working on stuff, so. But, all right, guys, we're gonna get back to it. So we got all the self-explanatory hardware out of the way, and you know, pretty much it's obvious where it goes. But then you get down to a few 8mm, you know, or 6mm bolts, 8mm heads, and you don't know where they go. What I do is just group them out. Like I had 6 of these, 3 of these, this size, and then 4 of these. And then you go over, this package was for top end only. So you go over to the top end, I got 6 bolts of these, and I pulled one of the old ones out, mashed it up. The length is correct on it. So all this hardware right here is for the intake. And then these 3, I'm guessing is gonna be for the exhaust flange. So I just like to do that, group all my bolts out, then that's how you kind of know where they go. So, all right, guys. All right, guys, we got the motor painted and the hardware all swapped out. You guys seen swapping the hardware out. Me and my associates here just helped me set this thing back down in here, and we got 1 bolt in it so far. So but after this it's pretty easy now getting the rest of the bolts lined up. So got him to help me set it in there, and it looks pretty good. So we're gonna get the rest of this thing bolted up and start getting this thing put back together. We're now down to 65 days till Trikefest, so we're closing in on it quickly. Alright guys, we got this thing all put back together finally, and man, it looks a whole lot better. So you seen us swap all the hardware out and saw it all on time lapse. The clutch cable, I figured out it was broke last year at Trikefest during the ditch run. I felt it get really slack, and I thought, you know, it has that little plastic bushing in the clutch cable, and I thought maybe that it had fell apart and that's where all the slack come from. But and then it didn't seem, I don't know, it just didn't seem that bad. So I don't know, we made it back to the camp and stuff, and I checked it out and it looked fine. But whenever I was taking it apart, messing with it, I found that the cable was split and only had about 1 cable left holding it together. So I am currently waiting on a clutch cable for this thing, but other than that, it's all finished up as far as the motor goes. That's how it turned out though. It turned out really nice. So next I've got we got to put the tires, got to get the tires mounted up. I got to swap the front tires out. I've got, let's see, 6-pack rack right there. West Michigan Motorsports on there. Let's see, this old trike, Southern Off-Road. But yeah, I got the 6-pack rack, got the tires. Actually, I've got some parts back here as well. So yeah, we've got this brake hose right here, and it came with all the stuff that is missing for mine. So got that brake hose, we've got the wheels, I've got a fork rebuild kit. We're going to rebuild the forks on this thing before we go up there as well. I noticed these last year, I started having a little bit of oil coming out, so I want to go ahead and get that addressed before it messes my fork boots up and it just becomes a problem. I don't want it to be. So, but I think other than that, guys, I think we're about ready for Trikefest. I've got a few bolts and stuff that I'm gonna swap out as I go. But yeah, for the most part, I think everything ended up pretty good. I did some more tidying up on everything, like this wiring that runs through here. I was missing this clamp right there. I found that clamp in the bolt on eBay. Believe it or not, you couldn't get that part anymore. It's not available. The clamp isn't. So I found that one on eBay for $30 for a little clamp, but it's all right. That stuff bothers me so much. So, but other than that, that new brake hose should look a lot better since this one's decided to start doing the snake on us. So don't want that on there anymore. It just looks like crap. So that and this should be down here, and then it should have that wire deal up there, and so we'll get all that stuff addressed. But yeah, man, we are right there for being ready for Trikefest, and I think that's all we're gonna do to it. Swap out the wheels and tires, 6-pack rack, brake hose, forks. I have a toolbox for this thing as well, and if we can make it work with the 6-pack rack and stuff, I think we'll put that on there as well. But yeah, guys, we're right there. We're nearing the end. The motor was the biggest feat, so we got that tackled. And oh yeah, also I fixed up, I put all the brackets back on. This bracket had never fit. I don't know how many people has got experience with CT pipes, but man, they just don't fit that well. It took quite a bit of trimming and maneuvering stuff around and to make that thing fit, but I got it all buttoned up now, and I got all the exhaust leaks fixed, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we were right there. We're ready to go, so, which is good. We only have, I think we have 1 month left until Trikefest. So I mean, I guess really 2 if you count part of June, but like I said, you know, when it gets down to June, you're trying to get everything else prepared, you know, all your camping supplies, and I don't want to be putting 3-wheelers together. So, but aside from the 250R, the 250SX, it's about ready. I mean, it's always ready, but I do have to fix one broken bolt in the toolbox back there. But aside from that, that thing's pretty much ready to go. I may give an oil change before we go, but yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, I'm gonna get this video out for you guys this week. We'll do a part 2 on the 250R as far as getting it ready for, you know, looks wise. We got the motor and stuff situated. We'll just leave this to be one video. It's already long enough. But yeah, guys, I really do want to get posting more often and all of that. We've been slammed lately. Like, we've been out here working on, I don't know if you can see it or not, light's kind of messing everything up, but having some concrete poured up there at the house. We're gonna put a carport over there, and maybe even close it in, end up being a garage to park my truck and this blue truck up underneath. So yeah, we just got a lot going on and trying to get ready for everything, and vacations this summer and stuff. It seems like it's hard to get content out. I can see what people say by, you know, hard to keep content flowing. So it's difficult. It's difficult trying to find stuff that, you know, is interesting enough for people to watch, and it's not just something thrown together that, you know, you want it to make sense. So but yeah, guys, so I'll have part 2 of this coming up though next, because we're literally about to start right back on it right now. So but yeah, we'll have that coming up. Then we'll have all the Trikefest stuff coming up, and I've got 2 other 3-wheelers that I haven't showed you guys yet that is going to be on the channel here shortly. So the 185, I know I've been teasing it quite a bit, but we're about to dig into that and see if we can't get that thing running here pretty soon. And then I picked up another 3-wheeler as well. So but yeah, we'll get to that soon. So hopefully you guys like what you're seeing on these videos, and like I said, we can get to a point where we're posting a lot more often and it's not so few and far between. But yeah, so if you guys like what you're seeing, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.